We all have dreams, goals, and aspirations that we want to pursue. Yet so often something stops us. You know the feeling, you get an idea, you feel motivated, and you think, yes, I'm going to do this. But then, just as quickly, hesitation creeps in. Suddenly, that great idea doesn't seem so great. You start doubting yourself, overthinking the steps, wondering if it's really the right time. Before you know it, the moment passes and the opportunity slips away. Sound familiar? It's a universal human experience and it's frustrating. But what if I told you that there's a way to break this cycle of hesitation and procrastination? A simple trick that could help you stop overthinking and take immediate action? That's where the 5-second rule comes in. It's a game-changing tool that puts you in control of your life and helps you move forward, even when your brain is trying to hold you back. The beauty of the 5-second rule lies in its simplicity and its science-backed effectiveness. Here's how it works the moment you feel an instinct to act on a goal, or you know what you need to do but are hesitating. You count backward -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. That's it. By the time you reach one, you've taken that first step. Maybe it's sending that email you've been putting off, getting out of bed for an early workout, or finally speaking up in a meeting. Whatever it is, the 5-second rule breaks your hesitation and propels you into action. Now, let me explain why this works. Our brains are wired to protect us from risk and discomfort. When we're faced with a new challenge, even something as small as starting a difficult conversation or going for a run, our brain's first reaction is to stop us from doing anything that might cause discomfort. This is where fear, doubt, and uncertainty come in. Your mind starts spinning with excuses. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? It's probably not the right time. This mental chatter is part of your brain's natural survival mechanism, designed to keep you safe from threats. But in modern life, these threats are often just uncomfortable emotions: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. The problem is that your brain doesn't know the difference between real physical danger and simple discomfort. So it pulls the brakes and you find yourself paralyzed by inaction. This is how so many people get stuck in a cycle of procrastination, waiting for the right time or the perfect moment to act. But here's the thing, the right time is never going to magically appear. You will never feel 100% ready. This is where the 5-second rule becomes powerful. By counting backward from 5, you interrupt the pattern of overthinking that leads to hesitation. You essentially distract your brain from its natural instinct to protect you from discomfort and instead shift your focus to action. It's like flipping a switch in your brain. Think about it this way, you've probably experienced moments where you didn't overthink and just acted. Maybe you saw an opportunity and instinctively went for it and it paid off. Or maybe you found yourself in a situation where you had to act fast, no time to second guess, just do it. Those are the moments when you tap into your instincts, your gut feeling, and you move before your brain can talk you out of it. The 5-second rule helps you access that same ability to act quickly, except this time it's intentional. You're making a conscious decision to move forward, despite the fear or hesitation. The rule also works because it engages your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and self-control. By counting down, you create a moment of mindfulness, an intentional pause that allows you to take control of your thoughts and behavior. Instead of letting your emotions and fears dictate your actions, you're using logic and intentionality to steer the ship. You're shifting from autopilot mode to a mode where you make decisions based on your goals and not your fears. The best part is, once you start using the 5-second rule, you'll notice a shift in how you approach everything in your life. It's not just about making big, life-altering decisions, it's about the small, everyday actions that add up over time. The decision to speak up in a meeting, the choice to get off the couch and go for a walk, the commitment to finally tackle that project you've been avoiding, all of these small moments of action build momentum. And momentum is the key to change. Success doesn't come from making huge, dramatic changes overnight. It comes from consistently taking small steps in the right direction. The 5-second rule helps you take those steps. It helps you override your brain's natural tendency to protect you from discomfort, and instead, it pushes you toward growth. The more you use it, the more confident you become in your ability to take action, even when it's uncomfortable. And here's the most important thing to remember: you don't have to feel ready to act. You don't have to wait until you're confident or until the fear goes away. You just have to move. The confidence, the clarity, and the momentum will follow. So the next time you feel that hesitation creeping in, remember -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. You've got this. There's a moment that happens to all of us, no matter what we're trying to achieve. You take a step toward a goal, maybe it's a small one, maybe it's bigger, but instead of feeling proud, you focus on what's still missing. You think about how far you still have to go, and all of a sudden, that small win feels insignificant. Worse, you might even criticize yourself for not being further along. That inner critic shows up, and it makes you question your progress, your abilities, and your worth. Sound familiar? What if I told you that you could change the way you relate to yourself by learning to celebrate small wins? In fact, this simple shift in mindset can be a game changer for your motivation, your confidence, and your ability to achieve your goals. It sounds almost too simple to be true, but the research backs it up, and it's all about how you treat yourself along the way. Let me introduce you to the concept of the high five habit. It's exactly what it sounds like, high-fiving yourself, literally. Every morning when you look in the mirror, you give yourself a high five. At first glance, it might seem silly. You might think, how can this possibly make a difference? But here's the thing, the act of physically high-fiving yourself does more than just make you feel good for a moment. It rewires your brain and changes the way you see yourself, creating a ripple effect that improves how you handle everything in your life. Why a high five? Well, think about what happens when you give someone else a high five. It's an automatic gesture of celebration, encouragement, and support. When you high five a friend, a teammate, or a colleague, you're saying, "You've got this." Or, "I believe in you." There's no judgment, no criticism, just pure positivity. So why don't we offer that same energy to ourselves? When you start giving yourself high fives, something powerful happens. You begin to recognize and celebrate your own efforts, no matter how small. It doesn't matter if you haven't reached the finish line yet. What matters is that you showed up, you made a move, and you're on your way. The high five becomes a symbol of self-support, and it's a reminder that you're doing enough right here, right now. Over time, this simple habit shifts your inner dialogue from self-criticism to self-compassion. Here's why this matters so much. Most of us are our own worst critics. We beat ourselves up for not being perfect, for not achieving things fast enough, for making mistakes along the way. This constant self-criticism takes a toll on our confidence and our motivation. The more we focus on what we're doing wrong or what we haven't yet accomplished, the more we feel stuck, inadequate, or frustrated. And when we're in that mindset, it's incredibly hard to keep moving forward. After all, why would you want to keep pursuing a goal if you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough? That's where the high five habit comes in. It interrupts that negative cycle and replaces it with a positive, affirming one. When you high five yourself, you're telling your brain, "I see you, I acknowledge your effort, and I'm proud of you." It's a small but powerful shift, and it has a real impact on how your brain functions. When you engage in a positive physical gesture like a high five, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. This boosts your mood and reinforces the idea that what you're doing matters. It also strengthens the connection between effort and reward, making you more likely to keep going. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I haven't done anything big enough to celebrate yet. Here's the secret: you don't have to wait for a major milestone to give yourself credit. In fact, the smaller the win, the more important it is to celebrate it. Success is not about the big leaps, it's about the small, consistent steps you take every single day. It's about getting out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's about making that uncomfortable phone call. It's about writing the first sentence of that book you've been dreaming about. Every action you take, no matter how small, is progress, and it deserves recognition. When you start celebrating these small wins, something incredible happens. You build momentum. Instead of feeling discouraged by how far you still have to go, you start feeling proud of how far you've already come. This creates a positive feedback loop that keeps you moving forward. The more you celebrate your efforts, the more motivated you become to keep taking action, and before you know it, those small wins add up to big results. But here's the catch: you have to be consistent with it. The high five habit isn't a one-time thing, it's something you incorporate into your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth. Every morning, you look yourself in the mirror and give yourself that high five. And throughout the day, whenever you accomplish something, even if it's as small as completing a task on your to-do list, you mentally give yourself another high five. Over time, this habit retrains your brain to focus on what you're doing right rather than what you're doing wrong. It's important to understand that this isn't about being unrealistic or ignoring challenges. Life is hard sometimes, and there will be setbacks. But the high five habit helps you build resilience by fostering a sense of self-belief. When you celebrate your efforts, you're telling yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. You're reinforcing the idea that you're someone who takes action, someone who doesn't give up, and someone who is worthy of encouragement. The truth is, we all need a little more kindness and encouragement, especially from ourselves. The world is full of critics and life is full of challenges, but when you learn to be your own biggest cheerleader, you become unstoppable. You start to believe in your own potential, and you approach your goals with a sense of excitement and possibility, rather than fear or self-doubt. So the next time you accomplish something, no matter how small, remember to give yourself a high five. Celebrate that win. Because when you make it a habit to celebrate yourself, you'll find that shaking up your life and achieving your goals becomes not just possible, but inevitable.